Here, Speaker. We were promised no new tolls. That commitment could not have been clearer from Chris Minns and Labor before the last election. Yet this week, the Premier has seriously floated the prospect of charging motorists twice to cross the Sydney Harbour Bridge or the Sydney Harbour Tunnel, a return to two-way tolling that would effectively double the toll burden for motorists. And how did we learn this? Not through a proper statement, but in fact live on radio, where the Premier admitted that his government is considering two-way tolling to help prop up the $60 weekly toll cap that Labor promised would not be needed long term. This is a broken promise, plain and simple. It's a blatant breach of trust with the people of New South Wales. Indeed, for more than 50 years, motorists have paid only one-way tolls on the Sydney Harbour Road crossings. The Harbour Bridge was tolled in both directions when it opened in 1932, but once the bridge had been paid off, the northbound toll was scrapped way back in 1970. The Harbour Tunnel has likewise been paid off. These crossings belong to the people of New South Wales. Yet Labor now wants to turn them back into a two-way tax on Sydney motorists, despite all their sound and fury in opposition, in fact, to road tolls. This comes during one of the most difficult cost of living periods in living memory. Families are tightening their belts, renters and mortgage holders are under immense pressure, and small businesses are struggling with rising costs. People are already paying more for groceries, fuel, utilities, and now, incredibly, Labor wants to make it more expensive just to get to work. For a teacher driving across the bridge to an early shift, a nurse heading home after a night on the ward at Royal North Shore Hospital, a tradie moving tools to a city job site, or parents shuffling kids to activities, Labor's broken promise will mean paying twice to make the same journey. That is a doubling of their toll burden, a doubling of pressure on people who simply can't afford more. And why? Because the government cannot manage its own budget. Because instead of providing real cost of living solutions, they reach for the easiest revenue lever and hope motorists won't notice. This is a lazy revenue grab that punishes ordinary people. Now, no one should be surprised. Labor has formed on this. For decades, they've treated Sydney motorists as a bottomless source of toll revenue. In fact, around half of Sydney's toll road network was commissioned or delivered under Labor governments. The Sydney Harbour Tunnel, the M2, the Eastern Distributor, the Cross City Tunnel, the Westlink M7, the Lane Cove Tunnel, all toll roads approved, commissioned or opened by Labor. And none symbolises Labor's tolling record more than the tolled military road ramps in my community. It is a toll on a 200-metre on and off ramp between two completely toll-free roads. It is one of the most expensive stretches of road in the world and must be one of the worst tolling decisions ever made. My community slugged just to join or leave a freeway. And now we see history repeating itself. The Premier is once again reaching for the motorist's hip pocket. He wants to toll both directions across the harbour, doubling the charge on infrastructure that was paid for decades ago. Instead of genuine reform, this government delivered a toll review that has cost taxpayers millions. That is millions that could have delivered real relief, but instead went to consultants. And what has it delivered? Nothing but uncertainty and not a cent of meaningful benefit to motorists. Then came the chaos of announcing the end of the $60 weekly toll cap without any clear replacement. Motorists were left confused and anxious. And now, after all that, what is Labor's big idea? New tolls, higher tolls, two-way tolls. This is not a solution, it is desperation driven by financial mismanagement. The people of Willoughby and the people of New South Wales should not be forced to pay for this government's budget failures. They should not be punished for Labor's inability to manage money, and they should not have to carry the cost of a broken promise. Any move towards two-way tolling is a new toll. It breaks their promise, plain and simple, and it adds to the crushing financial pressures families are already facing. That is the reality. I will stand with motorists, commuters, families, workers and small businesses who rely on the Harbour Bridge and Sydney Harbour Tunnel every day, whether they live in Willoughby or beyond. The people of New South Wales deserve honesty and integrity. They deserve transparency and they deserve a fair go. Most of all, they deserve a government that does not see them as a source of endless toll revenue.